Hey everybody, we're here at iRecover Alberta with Jim Gray, owner, CEO, and pilot for iRecover Treatment Centers. And I was at a meeting with Jim Gray last night. We were in Sylvan Lake at a fantastic AA meeting, and it came to my attention that last night was Jim Gray's 28th year in recovery. And so I wanted to just take this opportunity to gain some insight on what 28 years is like, maybe starting from the beginning, and give us some, give us a little bit of insight into and what's been going on the last 28 years, and hopefully offer some hope and inspiration to us younger folk that have been, just starting the program and are new in the program, and those who, maybe aren't in the program yet. So I guess, it starts usually with a cake night at AA, and we celebrate length of time sober, and it starts with a 24-hour chip. So on that first day that you come in, you get a 24-hour chip and asking you to come back, and eventually that builds up to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, and then a year, and then multiples of years, and today we've got 28. So I want to cut a little bit of cake here first for Jim and myself, and Dion, of course, doing the filming. And I'd like to ask you, Jim, do you remember that first night? Do you remember that first night?
I do.
Yeah. Can you tell us about where it was, when it was?
Sure.
Let's start with the day, I guess.
Well, it was October the 13th, 1989, and it was in Armstrong, BC. I phoned AA during the day. My last hurrah, so to speak, was Saturday night, and I phoned AA Sunday morning, and my wife had left and taken the kids and the dog, birds, and whatever the hell else she took, and I was pretty beat up. I was devastated. It's a feeling I can still bring up today, that lonely, scared, bitter, mad. The fear that driven this alcoholic, the fear of losing your family and then losing it, and the fear of what the hell am I going to do now, and how can I change this, and how can I get her back, and what's wrong with that woman, to leave such a perfect fellow like me. It took me a while to figure out.
That was her fault, right?
Yeah, well, of course, because this alcoholic wanted to fix the blame. That was the first motive there. It took me a while to get over that. But anyhow, I went to a meeting that night in Armstrong, and it's called Headed Lake back in those days. And I remember going through the doors up this church stairs, and going through the door, and there was a bunch of tables set up in a circle, and there was all natives there. And I thought, this is a bingo game. So I turned around and I left. And as I turned around, I went down the stairs, and there was a van there, said Round Lake Treatment Center. So I said, damn it, I guess I'm in the right place. And I turned around and walked through those doors. And that was a tough thing to do, to walk through those doors all beat up. I didn't know it at the time. I had a collapsed lung and black eye, and it was all poor me, poor me, poor me. No, but so that was the start of my recovery, and the people there were wonderful. Most of them are, of course, dead now. They were old then, and I joined that group. And I was the only one there. I think I had a driver's license and access to a car. I don't know if I had one, so I become the GSR right away because I was the only one that could go to another meeting. And it just went on from there, I remember, and then I went to my first roundup in Salmon Arm. I can remember I was 4 months sober. And I just got the ability to take the kids, because they were in the court battle, of course, and all this bullshit divorce stuff goes. But I remember taking the 3 boys with me, and they were less than 6, 8, and 10, I guess, at that time. Went to Salmon Arm to the roundup there, and there was all these people saying multiple years, 50 years, whatever, just crazy numbers. Anything more than 4 months was an incredible number. And I remember the feeling I got being amongst these other alcoholics that were trying to change their life and how they were doing it, and listening to how they were doing it. And being like every other alcoholic when I first come in, with all these wonderful ideas of how I was going to fix AA, you know, and it's just, that's the way it is. And these guys were just incredible. They helped me, and from that, I just kept plugging away, you know, and AA has done so much for me. I can't even fathom the depth of recovery that I experienced, you know, from that. From those beginnings that it was horrible. And from that, thinking there was no way out, that this is the end of it. And yet the days went by and the days went by, and I went to meetings, and people would tell me, go to meetings, and somebody in Vernon told me I should go and take a step course with the Vernon Treatment Center. And so I did. And you know, that changed my whole outlook on Alcoholics Anonymous and how we help other people. And I remember doing my third step prayer with one of the members, and the fellow that kneeled down there and the fellow that got up were two different people. The guy turned it over to God, is my understanding, and it's been going, I want to say great ever since. I have my low times, I suppose, but the reality is, here I am 28, 29 years later, whatever it is, and the wisdom I've incurred over the years. You know, I might think I know everything, but I still don't. You know, I'm still learning. Every day I learn from other members, new members, not necessarily old members. And the way this program works, and the help it gives to people, if you work it, you know, and that's the main thing I want to talk about, is if you work it. Because I know from reading the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that this program does work if you work it. But if you come into groups, or come into meetings, and you come there, or in the treatment centers, you come into a treatment center, you pay thousands of dollars, and all you want to do is go to your room and sleep, and all you want to do is get sober. Well, getting sober wasn't your problem. Drinking wasn't your problem. Because everything I did sober. That led into more and more drinking. That first drink I picked up, I was sober. So does this really have anything to do with alcohol? Or does it have to do with their mindset? You know, so you got to change how you look at stuff, why you do stuff, why other people do stuff. You got to accept other people. You know, one of the greatest things I found in this program was the ability to agree to disagree. Because I had to be right, or I wasn't going to associate with you. I wouldn't have anything to do with you. It's either my way or your way. And that's not the way it has to be. You know, the big book is written in such a way that everybody can look at it a little different and can apply it a little different to themselves. They have to be able to look at themselves. Have to find the God of their understanding, however they perceive that. Somebody that they can talk to and turn all this over to. You know, when I think of doing my fourth step and writing down all that garbage I did and all that horrendous stuff, you know, and fixing the blame on everybody and everything. And when I wrote all that down and understood, and then I had to speak it out to a minister and also heard it myself, and God heard it, that it was all small chicken shit stuff. I mean, there's nothing I've done that somebody hasn't done less or more. It really doesn't make any difference. But for me, it kept me drinking. It kept me bound to alcohol because I needed that crutch. And today that's not the case. Today I can say you're right. I can disagree with you, and hopefully we can still get along. I don't have to fight. I ceased fighting, and I ceased fighting when I did that third step prayer. Like, it was that quick. It was an incredible experience, and ever since it's been a learning experience. And right up to last night when we went to meeting and the new guy come in and you listen to that, and that time travel, you go right back to the first day you come in, or at least I do. And because of him, I got an opportunity to bring up all that emotion, all those feelings, all that positive stuff. You can bring up all the negative you want, but it's the positive stuff I want to see in my life. And the more I can bring the positive stuff up and try to get it across to other people, the better it is. No, this is a great program, but you have to work it. You have to work it. You don't have to beat yourself to death, but you have to go to meetings, because that meeting you miss might be the meeting you needed to hear something. And you will hear something at every meeting, but you will hear something that is so profound. I remember this one fellow, his name was Mike Lawless. I can say his name now, but this man would drone on every meeting, and this is my early sobriety, and I didn't like this man. I thought I was dribbling off of him, right? And then one day, I don't know how long I was in, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it was, Mike said his usual speech, and I thought, what a profound speech. I don't think he changed a bloody word. It's just that I all of a sudden was able to hear it differently. I was out of myself, and I could hear somebody's message that I needed to hear. And that's the way I believe AA works. If you go to meetings, you go to treatment, but don't go to meetings and sit on the outside. Be part of it. Share if you're asked to share, help if you're asked to help. You know, and the same as going into treatment centers. Don't go into treatment centers. You'd be better off going. If you're just going to watch TV and respite, you might as well go get a motel room. They're probably nicer. You get more channels on TV. The food is probably better. And why sit around with a bunch of people complaining in the treatment center when you could go out there and sit by yourself and drink yourself to death, or whatever you want to do? But if you're taking that step, you want to change your life, if your life is unmanageable and you're asking for help, well, don't ask for help unless you're willing to take it. And I find that's a problem. A lot of guys want help, and then they get here and they want to do it their way. Well, like I always say, remember who phoned who. So if you come into a treatment center, you're the one that drove the situation to get here. So now you ask for help, let us help you. And you can get 28 or 29 years, whatever it is. It's crazy when you get up in numbers, you have to think about, well, when the hell was it, you know? But it doesn't matter. My old sponsor, he died when he was 95, died sober. And I used to, you know, every year his birthday was such a special occasion because he was such a great man. And there's lots of people in AA that want to help you. And I don't know if this is supposed to be about AA, this talk, but Alcoholics Anonymous has done so much for me. You know, and I was looking at my big book. This is the original.
That's the original one you got?
The original one I got. It's not the original big book, but it's, yeah. And boy, I
that's a well-worn book.
I did, you know, and it wasn't from beating people up with it. It was actually from turning the pages and reading it.
Who gave you that first book?
You know, I wish I could answer that, Jason, but I would assume the head of the league group.
Okay.
Or give it to me. Although they were poor, I might have had to buy it. But regardless of that, that's when I got it right off the bat. And it's such a great book. It's such a great book. I was reading it a bit again today, and you know, it's just as true today as the day it was written in 1939. The stuff, the wisdom there is so incredible. And people can say, well, I don't want to go to that big book. It's just an old book. Well, don't then. I mean, if you want to stay drunk, stay drunk. That's or addicted, whatever you are. But if you want help, you know, there's lots of help out there. But you have to reach. You know, like it says, you have to knock on the door. It will be answered. So, thanks for doing this, Jason. I appreciate this. I don't celebrate AA birthdays or my belly button birthday very often. And
Yeah.
it's very nice of you to get a cake, and I appreciate it. Thanks very
Yeah,
much.
well, thank you, Jim. You know, you're really, you know, a mentor and a guide for a lot of us, and I just really appreciate, you know, you sharing your wisdom and with me, but with everyone else out there who's looking for help. You know, there's a lot of us that need guidance, and it's awesome that you're here to do that. So, you know, I look forward to another 28 years and more cakes.
Well, me too. Hang around.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Speaking of cake, yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.